Hello, so we're back with more DST review. Back. And we're here to issue something called mediocrity, a vocab word of the day that has screamed into the view since October 10th. I think for 2019's edition of 2020 Friday Night Smackdown. It's been airing since last early October, and it's still bad. I don't know how it could still be bad. You have a build up to Money in the Bank. And it felt like every time WWE thinks they're going to be in the right direction, it seems like the United States have an extension on the lockdown, and the WWE headquarters will be moved to, I think, from Stamford, Connecticut, that it's been for mainly its entire run, to Florida, with certain circumstances. I think so. I'm still into the thing that they shouldn't have done WrestleMania. They should have postponed all televised events. Keep these guys vacationed for at least a while. Do late April, late May, or early May rendition of WrestleMania. Tape a few episodes until these guys are ready. Just like what Impact did. The Impact never did. Most of the shows were pre-recorded. That's why you still saw crowds. It's now like April 19th, the last episode of Friday Night Smackdown. It was just a couple days ago. I'm now uploading because I want to hurt myself, and for a majority of the reason, SmackDown at least tried to give a reason for us to watch, other than the monotonous feuding going on with just Corbin feeling like is an annoyance. He's always just shouting out, he's king. It's so corny because he shows no rendition other than the very few accomplishments he achieved over the past couple of years. And it doesn't show him as a minuscule heel. It doesn't show him as being dominant, and it doesn't show him as being any way, shape, or form cool. Kurt Angle wore a singlet, and he was proven more of a badass because he was a legitimate wrestler that has great credentials, and earlier in his career became a multi-champion. Had a winning streak. Proved that he can go against prime main eventers early in his fucking WWE career. Baron Corbin beaten Kurt Angle. He won King of the Ring just months later, and still nobody treats him legit after having a 4-month feud with Roman Reigns. And then over last week, we had a rendition involving the promo from Miz and Morrison over the dirt sheet, involving Morrison literally going solo in a triple threat match, in a ladder match. And now we're doing another freaking ladder match. Another ladder match. That was the main event. I'm kidding, it was a triple threat match. Thank God. I guess they wanted to just do something different. I guess so they don't have to drag on another fucking ladder match that are already repetitive enough. And I think everything ran off on just a high spot, high spot, high spot. I've hated ladder matches since 2011, or I think 2012, because I felt like they were the same repetitive shit. You'll get the same retarded spots with the ladder. Some person's gonna do their finisher on the ladder. Some person's gonna feel like they broke a neck or a spine, and then slowly climb the ladder, and we get the finish that nobody liked. Brock Lesnar winning Money in the Bank. We also had Sonya Deville clearing the air with Mandy Rose over why she betrayed her and tried to stop things with her and fucking Otis. Let me tell you enough. I thought this feud was gonna end as soon as WrestleMania ended. Otis gets the girlfriend. We waited the last few months for this, overbuilding their relationships. Then we got Dolph Ziggler involved. It all ends. Dolph Ziggler gets something important. We haven't even seen his tag team partner, Robert Roode, for the last 2 months over TV. Probably staying away, staying quarantined, because probably they have nothing planned for him. And I hope nothing stays planned for him for at least until middle of May. It is now April, and it's just watching SmackDown so difficult. We even had also, from the ending of the segment, Or think a Miz segment after commercial break. We had the truth will set you free. Like we didn't take that from our Truth's entrance theme from like 2011. We also had Cesaro and Daniel Bryan fight for a qualifying spot for the Money in the Bank ladder match. We had a segment involving Dana Brooke and Carmella disputing over why you're having a number one contender spot while a qualifying match while we have a tag title match the next week. Somebody said that the tag title match would be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Why would they do a rematch on pay-per-view for something that's supposed to be so transitional as the women's title? It hasn't even been defended until WrestleMania, and the belts weren't defended until like months prior. They don't treat the tag team belts like anything. They just treat it because they forget like they have a women's roster. I'd rather have the women treated as eye candy because at least you know that there's a women's division back then. Oh, I'm sorry, Divas division. Tamina had a match against Sasha Banks. Against Sasha Banks because Bayley says if you beat Sasha Banks, she gets a shot. Her theme song is so crap. The match took as this. I had to hear the dialogue of Tamina and Sasha Banks disputing over a T-shirt, and she wears extra large. You should have just tossed it in her face, gave her the Samoan drop, end it there. There was a bit of dispute going over Lacey Evans intervening in the match after Sasha Banks was given the upper hand in the middle of the match. Backstabber couldn't get the 3 count. The match came as much as you could. The super kick off a surprise assist by Lacey Evans got the match probably the week or next week after we get a tag match involving them. Because Lacey Evans is still babyface, I still have an issue with that. Even though how mediocre Lacey Evans been over the past year. Next up, we had Sheamus against Denzel DeJourante. I do not know how to say. He beat up some black jobber. He had like one drop kick in, then Sheamus beat the crap out of him. Hit him with Irish curves. Hit him with the white sound. I think that's what it's called when he does the chest thing. It was basic as it could be. Just because we had segments before Sheamus, Jeff Hardy had his documentary, documentary. Oh my goodness, documentary involving his personal demons in his history in the WWE and how he's got from there to here. So basic as that, and it seems like Sheamus is getting overlooked, even though he's been getting squash matches since returning to TV. And he comes around just antagonizing Corey Graves and Michael Cole. Like, why isn't nobody paying attention on the Celtic Warrior? I think they're trying to build up something with him and Jeff Hardy, or do the same thing Samoa Joe did that made a personal tackle on Jeff Hardy's life. And Samoa Joe's gimmick is literally he just personally attacks everyone, and we haven't even seen it for the last couple of months. Next up, we have Money in the Bank qualifiers for the women. First of all, I have nothing against Naomi. This is an attack against the women's division. This is an attack on the idea of the women's division. I did not watch the women's evolution shit because I have more things to do in my life than waste time with that, but I will have a chance to rewatch it anytime soon, and I'll give a critique on it. And I have to say, Dana Brooke, Naomi was such a shit. Rush-filled match. I nearly wanted to spit something out. Because you had Naomi, a former women's champion, against a meteoric commodity that is Dana Brooke, with her goddamn ripoff of a Vance Archer. If you guys remember Vance Archer, it's Lance Archer on AEW. Yeah. Vance Archer's theme from back then when he was on the roster comes around doing a flip, wearing crappy gear. She doesn't know how to punch. She can't sell a drop kick to save her life. She comes around getting over crucifix, gets over the rear view, counters into a roll up again. We don't even know most of Dana Brooke's offense except try to escape Naomi. over majority of this, yet her ability is just to flex. She has no kind of muscle manic maneuver, and she's supposed to be this purebred athlete. And Jesus Christ, she wins after reversing into a schoolboy after the split leg moonsault missed, and she kicked out of the fucking rear view. She kicked out of the rear view. So we undermine Naomi after she returned back to the TV. I don't get this. And I've been hearing rumors about her getting pushed. Why? What makes Dana Brooke so interesting? She looks like she took Botox in both cheeks and got slapped in the face. Looks like Skeletor with a weave. I don't understand why Dana Brooke deserves the TV time she gets. She has no promo. She is Saturday Morning Slam promo. She got main event style promo. She's good when fucking Carmella or Alexa Bliss can't be there. She ain't good at anything. And she comes around just awkwardly sourcing around. If you didn't see her last week, when she had to come convincing Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss for a tag team title match opportunity the next week on SmackDown, it went as awkwardly as it could be to show that she's an interesting character, and her character is that she's buff. And Batista was horny one time and just wanted to randomly DM some weird chick on the roster. Weird. It's so weird. I'm sorry for my mini rant. There's still more of the show to go around, and we've been getting a majority of these segments involving everybody because they already did something like this. Why are they overhyping this now? They did three individual promos over the middle of the show. I hate promos like this, especially when it's not that career binding. We already had a triple threat ladder match for tag team titles, not even involving another half of the tag teams. What made this different? Other than give the New Days the belts again. And I already hate the New Day because they shouldn't be a tag team still. And I thought they were going to break up like the time Kofi Kingston won the WWE Championship. And nothing changed. Now they're like an 8-time tag team champions. We also had Usos promo. That is when so penitentiary. It felt so awkward. I don't want to hear everybody speak. It feels so disinteresting. I mean, even without a crowd, we're just in the capacity of the fucking 205 live capacity because nobody watches that shit. We had Sonya Deville talk to Mandy Rose in the middle of the ring, displaying that she's a selfish human being. She's getting overshadowed. As basic as that, just took attention-seeking thing from Sonya Deville, trying to feel like she's getting overshadowed by her partner. Basic as that. After that, Dolph Ziggler came around to try to convince Mandy Rose that they were actually that they thought that the feelings were mutual. Ended up in a surprise attack by Sonya Deville until Otis came around and made the numbers change. Otis got the caterpillar and Dolph Ziggler later on in the middle of the scuffle, and that was pretty much it for the baby faces to get it because blah blah blah. Just dragged this on because Otis just looks like, I'm sorry, people know me from any way, shape, or form. I have a younger brother, just makes the same facial expression and behaves nearly like Otis. It's funny, but he's older than you think he is. Next up, one of the better matches in the show, Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro, but it ended as quick as the last time. But this time it was off assistance of Drew Gulak. Shinsuke Nakamura just came around, and like Cesaro has to be the mid-carder with the most music changes of all time. First, I liked his first theme. Then his second theme was annoying, but it was catchy. Then he had a third theme that was the same thing, but he took his pants off. Then he had the same theme that was just a crossover mix with Sheamus' theme. And most of these people are asking for most of the wrestlers' older themes back, like Jeff Hardy, Cesaro. The only person that stays the same is John Morrison and The Miz, and Daniel Bryan's. That don't even go that much of a change. Except there's more of an instrumental, like a more guitarist in Daniel Bryan's theme. I don't know what the fuck. CFO's gone, I think now. And this match was pretty alright. One arm tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. There was a gorilla press into to an uppercut, running drop kicks all over the place. A huge uppercut from Cesaro from the corner. Match was getting alright. There was a sharpshooter that easily was collapsed by. I'm shocked the commentary went so far to just always go over the weird backgrounds other than just explain why it took so long for one of the more threatening moves in the wrestler's arsenal, like Cesaro, his fucking sharpshooter, and he immediately gets it released because of the shorter frame of Daniel Bryan. It ends off the crossface. I mean, Cesaro later on did the crossface, but Daniel Bryan countered into the S-lock, and it just went into Shinsuke Nakamura trying to interfere until Drew Gulak dragged him off. Daniel Bryan had him in the middle of the ring, and it ended up in a tap out. So Cesaro would lose a qualifying match. That would suck, but obviously you want to see the person that's more important in the ladder match. We had Elias try to give another performance, even though he'll be assaulted for no damn reason. Again, feuding with Baron Corbin. Why he's feuding? Because he interrupted him one time in a promo. And for the last couple weeks, the most important thing to do was Elias got hit over like a 10-foot porch thing. I don't know how tall it was. They weirdly cut it out to make sure it looked like Elias took a tough fall. And obviously, it just looked super staged. It looks super staged. And they're still doing this. They don't make feuds with any rhyme or reason. Even the moment of bliss earlier in the show, we had Braun Strowman get a gift to bring up the black sheep. First of fucking all, uh, there was no build up or anything involving like a poor relationship other than if you want to bring up some Twitter shit involving Braun Strowman and his outs from the fucking Wyatt family. Other than he was just part of the faction. There was no storytelling involved in Braun Strowman's affiliation with Bray Wyatt or why he'd been there, other than he was just a huge body for the Wyatt family, even though the whole Wyatt family is just full of huge bodies. Look, and Bray Wyatt's body is a huge body. I'm saying that he's fat. Braun Strowman's just huge. He was like a big, and he come around shaking a broken mask. Like something bad happened to it. I understand they're gonna get more further into this. Just know it just felt so corny, and we just hear the weird, awkward laughing instead of Braun Strowman just throwing the mask away and just showing that he's not abused or something or not afraid. I mean, it already got gayer when he said, "Let me in. I'll let you in anytime, Bray." I'm so sorry. Oh god. Oh man, it just gets worse and worse every time I try to go over the show. I try to. Oh goodness. It ended up with Baron Corbin assaulting him with the scepter, trying to choke him out with the scepter, kicking him, asking him to sing, then he hits him in the back with the guitar. Was it endearing? No. Was it caring? No. Do I care? No. Does the fans care? No. Even if there was a fan there, they would be like, oh, why are they fighting? Who's the guy wearing some Burger King shit? Oh god, it's just so crap. And now we're at the main event that was a triple threat match for the tag team titles, and it went as exciting as watching a Funaki match for the world's title. You you feel like you should care, but you know what's gonna happen. So yeah, it'll be Biggie Langston against The Miz and Jey Uso for the Smackdown tag team titles. Was the match good? It was meh, even for the standards that they didn't have that many athletic guys as they do, and they did in the ladder match. You have an Uso, you have the more athletic half of the dirt sheet from Morrison, and of course you have the more athletic guy that has more experience in a ladder match out of Kofi Kingston, so you expect him to do a ladder match. This was just a regular match, and it just finished off a big ending after Miz did a skull-crushing finale. And that was practically the more exciting part of the match. I mean, Big E won him, now is an 8-time tag team champion. And he's not even thinking of going back in a singles run. The first time you were there, you were affiliating with a former world champion, a Divas champion at the time, and you won the Intercontinental title a year later. Why hasn't Big E thought, maybe I should just try to split out the group? Or something like that. Now he's just winning tag team titles galore. The belts already lost their prestige. I mean, Miz and Morrison, as corny as they were, majority on TV, at least what they think of is clever. It's off the book, and it's sort of nice to see the dirt sheet still in their own brand of comedy, and it works for them. I don't care about the New Day holding the tag team titles. The the biggest thing they did was I don't know. I think it was a superplex. The match was as bland as it came. If they now had the bodies they could, we had Kofi Kingston weirdly on some cam on his phone, coming around being like, yeah, 8-time champs, 8-time champs. I just paid my taxes. I just paid my taxes. It was so corny. And there's no exciting part to watch SmackDown now. The loss of Roman Reigns by now, you lose the revival. Majority of guys are fired. We don't know what the hell to get excited for other than more qualifying matches for something that's going to be in a freaking building. And SmackDown's still going to be mediocre because they have nothing important to make you watch a show. There's no awe-inducing storyline. There's no big roadblock. There's no champion that's good to be excited for as much as I always go back to the Ruthless Aggression. There's always guys to watch. The mid-card is always exciting to watch. There's nothing exciting to watch on SmackDown, on Fox. How? It's so bad. SmackDown gets a 4 out of 10. The matches were somewhat watchable. The promos were cringe. The segments were weird. The weird cuts into the promos were just awkward as hell. Too many weird matches. It made no sense. Some of the matches made no sense. Sheamus just getting these awkward squash matches for no reason other than to push a veteran. Why are you giving a veteran squash matches? Why is Braun, that hasn't even stayed a minute, Rowan and and Luke Harper been the White family since day one. Rowan didn't do much except sleeper hold the fuck out of Roman Reigns at one time on Raw, and didn't do much at all because he only stood like a minute, like a few minutes in the damn White family. He doesn't do shit, and yet they treat this like it's been for like a long time. I felt like everything was just pre-rushed. I understand the circumstances but that doesn't excuse that you can't make a good show with what you got. Make the commentators feel more immersed into the show, please. Try to do at least what AEW do. They get their roster to watch the show. Just feel like you get a full-on interaction, or like feel like you're still doing a live show. Don't feel dead. No one's gonna feel excited about Biggie breathing and gyrating everywhere whenever he comes into the damn ring. Comes air humping the damn floor, dry humping the floor at the time he won the tag team titles. Nobody wants to see that crap. This is a DST show. If you guys have a different opinion about the show, please comment it down below. I love reading comments, especially on the one with Jack Gallagher review. That's a Jack Gallagher video that somehow is still growing in views. Please subscribe, comment, and if you can, check out the channel if you want to see the Jack Gallagher video. That's it coming from me.